China and the United States moved towards an all-out trade war on Tuesday after US President Donald Trump imposed an astounding 104% in tariffs across all Chinese imports. Locked in a high-stakes game of brinkmanship, both nations refused to back down, with Beijing vowing to fight firmly against America's aggression to the end. Trump had originally unveiled a 34% additional tariff on Chinese goods. However, after Beijing imposed its own tit-for-tat 34% tariff on American products, Washington vowed to pile on another 50% duty. Counting existing levies imposed in February and March, in addition to new taxes, the cumulative tariff increase for Chinese goods during Trump's second presidency is 104%. Beijing blasted what it called US blackmail and vowed to fight it to the end, and said it would take firm and forceful steps to protect its interests. The Chinese people's legitimate right to development is inalienable. China's sovereignty, security, and development interests are inviolable, Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Jian said at a regular press briefing. Earlier, during a call with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen on Tuesday, Chinese Premier Li Qiang said his country is equipped to fully offset any negative external shocks, and reiterated his optimism about maintaining sustained and healthy economic development of the world's second-largest economy in 2025, despite the latest tariff threat from US President. President Xi Jinping's number 2 said China's macroeconomic policies this year have fully taken account of various uncertainties and labeled the punitive action on all American trading partners as a typical example of America's unilateralism, protectionism, and economic coercion. He added that China's firm response is not only to safeguard its own interests, but also to defend international trade rules. Protectionism leads nowhere. Openness and cooperation are the right path for all, Li told von der Leyen, according to a Bloomberg report. The new tariffs come after Beijing's pushback against Trump, who remained defiant despite major US indexes tumbling again Tuesday. The China-EU call came hours before both economies were set to be hit by Trump's so-called reciprocal tariffs, with Europe facing an added 20% levy. The global economy has been rocked since sweeping Trump's baseline. 10% tariffs took effect over the weekend, triggering a dramatic market sell-off worldwide and sparking recession fears. Rates on imports to the United States from dozens of economies are rising further from Wednesday. The US president believes his policy will revive America's lost manufacturing base by forcing companies to relocate to the United States. But many business experts and economists question how quickly, if ever, this can take place, warning of higher inflation as the tariffs raise prices. Trump said Tuesday the United States was taking in almost $2 billion a day from tariffs. After Trump refused to back down on his plans, Canada said that its tariffs on certain US auto imports will come into force on Wednesday. The EU, which Trump has criticized bitterly over its tariff regime, may also unveil its response next week to new 20% levies it faces. French President Emmanuel Macron called on Trump to reconsider, adding if the EU was forced to respond, so be it. In retaliation against US steel and aluminum levies that took effect last month, the EU plans tariffs of up to 25% on American goods ranging from soybeans to motorcycles, according to a document seen by AAPI. Trump said Tuesday his government was working on tailored deals with trading partners, with the White House saying it would prioritize allies like Japan and South Korea. His top trade official, Jameson Greer, told the Senate that Argentina, Vietnam, and Israel were among those who had offered to reduce their tariffs. Trump has ruled out any pause in his aggressive stance, despite China's retaliation and growing domestic criticism.